with consistency and coherence. It's a time that people need to think about coherence. With the Aquarius age, everything is allowed. So we really need to learn how to discriminate, how to choose, and to be coherent with what we talk and with what we do. Yeah? So please keep home clean.
Just to finish your question, it's really for us, it's a big gap between the communication of the municipalities and us. But slowly, they are approaching us as event promoters, not as Boom Festival only. Like I know that my colleagues, our colleagues from here, they also were working on the Jubilee, last Jubilee in UK. They like the organization. They want to be sustainable. They want to do a sustainable event, but they only think that is like I pay what I how much is it to be sustainable? Okay, I want to be. But when we speak, it's not so easy, and it's a long time process. They don't understand like the complexity of being a sustainable event. As in Scotland, the last COP, they also were working on that to promote an event as really sustainable because it's like the concentration of all environmental philosophers on the earth. But in the end, it wasn't so much. It is like it's not like I want to be and after it I will be. No, it's like a big long time process and it's not easy to transform it as a sustainable event. It's really, and when we work with public, it's not like you. It's more complicated to change the mindset of this public. But it's a process that we are working on it, and it's like kind of almost evangelical Catholic religion. We are knocking on the doors to please let's believe in my religion. And sometimes I feel like a priest spreading my religion, but we don't give up.
Thank you very much for taking my question, and just thanks so much for everything you guys are doing to kind of maintain and preserve this land so that we can all enjoy it, and so that the, the wildlife and the natural environment can sustain and continue to enjoy itself. I had a question specifically about the planting, the replanting, and the composting that you're doing to sustain the land. Specifically, focusing on soil erosion because there's a lot of foot traffic. So I'd be really curious to hear what you're doing, what you do in terms of planting and composting to get the green plants to keep coming back and to keep holding down the soil and to keep holding the moisture in the soil. Just so that the natural environment can be sustained between the festivals. Love to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you. About the soil and about the land, of course, it's several or too much people walking around. Yeah, you going and walking around, and even if we don't cut this, when you guys come here, it's everything like dust. Yeah, you understand? Too much food walking around the boomland. And I'm gonna share something about these years we stop bring people here, or we in 2020 we don't do any boom, and the land appreciate that. The land like new trees coming, animals all around, and the land regenerates like in a huge plan. It was fantastic. And the situations about when we do some drill, when we do something with machines, always we have the notion to put seeds there, to replant the earth we are working. So that it's in our minds. Of course, we don't have all the control of the all the teams or all the workers are here. We don't have the control, but we try to have that control when someone is planning a huge thing to put a cable or something like that. They contact us and show us in the map, I'm going to do this, so do your thing, and next going to treat well that land. Of course, it's a problem what we have here when you. It's not a problem. Don't go that way. It's good to have you guys here, but of course when you walk around it's like dust, okay? And it's good. Boom, in in 2 years because we have 1 year to regenerate the land. It's fantastic. So thank you.
We have the last question here.
No pressure then. I've fallen in love with cork oaks because cork is an incredibly sustainable material and can be cultivated in a really regenerative way. On the drive in though, and throughout a lot of Portugal, you see so many ploughed cork forests, totally degraded, dead basically. And the land here is so abundant and beautiful. How are you working with your neighbours to kind of disseminate your land management and influence the wider catchment and the wider landscape here? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your question. I have to confess it's not easy to convince our neighbors to maintain their soils rich, to, to, to grow up a really nice natural landscape. Our, like this Portugal, the interior of Portugal, or you have only small piece of land that have only one owner, and the owner doesn't have the money enough to maintain this small part of the land, or it is on the other part really huge part of land that is made for to export for profit, and that piece of huge part of land that is explored to for profit, it's maintained, but it's monocultural. Because for them to have profit, it has to be more than a size, only one species. But we don't believe on that solution. We try to have a normal debate with them, but it's not easy to do it. We maintain around because for safety, because we need to maintain for fire protection. But we also have a big part of cultural just next to us that we're trying to cut them and to replace for quercus oak and olives and autochthonous trees. So it's really important to say to you when you see a landscape that you don't see trees that doesn't belong to landscape like palm trees or whatever the people decide to. That is a beautiful plant to plant it here. We try to explain to our neighbors that it's really important to respect the biodiversity that we have around, so we don't impact our nature and our animals that's living here. If we bring plants from tropical countries or from doesn't belong here, like eucalyptus, we'll bring some other species or insects or pregs that can kill all our autochthonous vegetation. It's not easy, but we try to explain them. Not everyone understands that, but we keep on spreading our beliefs.
We have some minutes. Probably, I think you have something more to share. Sorry, we don't have more time for the Q&A, but I think they can talk a little bit more and we can close.
Before we close, I think I want to give a big huge thanks to the Eco Guardians who are there and doing a huge job. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. And just look at the boards; they are fantastic, and thank you guys.
Also the Echo team, yes?
Of course, also everyone. But I want to give a big thanks to the Eco Guardians. They are really do a good job. Yeah.
I want to add something to you. Portugal has a fire problem. It also has a reforestation problem, and we also have a monoculture problem. But this is the whole country. No? One of the little things we are trying to do to set up is a volunteer carbon market. for independent people. What I understood when I started studying these mechanisms like 15 years ago was that if you want to do an offset, you will send money to a country that is developing. So developed countries would send money to countries that are in development. Right now, what we feel is that Portugal is in development. So the impact that we generate here, that we have here, we are trying to build this voluntary independent market that will keep the money of the offset, people that want to do their offset, and we work in regenerative forest here. We think is a solution to keep the money in the country and not send it abroad. And then we can start thinking on the regeneratory labs and thinking about ecoforest. But you've traveled in the country, right? You've seen it. It's big. You know, it's, call it a lobby, call it whatever. But it's strong, it's big. And I think there's a force, there's a driving force that a lot of people that are here, that I know, are working on regenerative projects. And Portugal is also a country that welcomes these projects. So we have a space here. And if we are real, if we are coherent with what we are doing, if we show results step by step, not megalomanous crazy things, you know, because that doesn't happen in nature. Things need to have their stages. I believe that we are going to arrive to a good port. But it's always going to be this duality, you know? It's a dual universe, dual dimension. That's where we're. Thank you so much. Enjoy the festival. Keep it clean, keep it beautiful, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, big thanks for Ines, Ricardo, and é isso, thank you so much. Now we have 30 minutes break, but